Good evening, good evening, good evening, and God bless you. As you can see in my background, the sun is starting to set. The birds are still chirping, but the weather's good. Although I'm physically not able to get there tonight, in spirit, I'm with you. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to still contribute my portion to this evening's event. My portion is all lives matter. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean to me? I will bridge the gap in a moment of time to hopefully share understanding and perspective from the heart to the mind so we can prepare a promise of tomorrow of equality. All lives matter. And in order for me to take on this message or take on this bridge, I must go back to the root. This is why I'm honoring Mr. Martin Kilson. He's one of our very own. He's our ancestor that was from Ambler and Penland. As a matter of fact, he grew up across the street in his church of Emmanuel Methodist Church, right across the street. His father was the senior pastor. And as a young child, Mr. Kilson remembered so many moments, but I will highlight two. One of those moments as they all were living in a Jim Crow era and the Great Depression, and reminded that the Great Depression was bad for everybody, but especially harsh for the Black American experience. As Mr. Kilson seen his father operate on purpose to serve God, he remembered how in the Great Depression, tough times, there weren't a lot of resources. So Mr. Kilson Sr. would often open up the doors of the church with resources. He would have chickens, eggs, vegetables, different resources for the community to eat. And to God be the glory, that's what the church is there in the community for, to help be there any way that they can. And Mr. Kilson Jr. remembers that. So as he's remembering that, there's another moment that I must speak to. There was a once-in-a-year event that Emmanuel Church and Bethlehem Baptist Church would unite and come together and have an event called the Sunday School Picnic. The Sunday School Picnic event happened one time a year in the summer where they would go to the sticks. And the sticks are like Quakertown, Solderton, and even Upper Perkiomen Valley. That's where the park was, Millside Park. So thankful for the seed of a good gesture to do good by my people, because that area of space didn't belong to us. But there was someone who had the resources to open up the space for us to have a wonderful moment. During that time of anticipation, it allowed us to get away from the pressures and the stressors of life that Jim Crow law caused and the Great Depression. It allowed us to escape and just breathe for a moment. So as we journeyed up to the sticks, we were not welcomed by their community. As a matter of fact, they've treated us harshly, disrespectful, spat on us, and again, trying to become a deterrent to turn us away. But little behold, the men of God, the women of God, and the families of God, and the community of God pressed on to have their moment despite adversity. They had great moments of joy, eating well, fellowship, you name it, having an experience that they didn't always have or accustomed to. So that was a heart of community and purpose that I gathered from those two moments of Mr. Kilson's young life. So as he graduated from the Ambler and Penland educational system, he then went to Lincoln University. Yes, the Lincoln University, an HBCU. He also attended Harvard University. And this is something that I must highlight. Mr. Kilson was the first tenured Black faculty member, and that happened in 1969. As I'm casually breezing through his life, there's so much substance in his story. So Mr. Kilson and his lineage and his legacy, we honor and carry the baton to move forward in the sense of our history. Mr. Kilson realized in his successes of his career that it was challenging and very difficult to see how Black leadership was able to have the capacity to deal with poverty and the climbing traction of racism in America. Very difficult, because he realized the upward mobility that he was blessed to have. All of his peers of melanin state didn't have that. Black people didn't have that. So he realized that he was on a great mission ahead. And as his concerns of capacity for working with the less fortunate, working with racism, it reminded me of the last speech that Dr. Martin Luther King shared, where he was very concerned about integrating his people into a burning house, the house of America. That's something to think about. So here we are, currently, honoring the life and legacy of Mr. Kilson. Now speaking about all lives matter, let's get to the root of that. All lives matter, again, is a spectrum of space. How do we get to the root? Well, we get to the root through Black Lives Matter, established in 2013 as a political and social movement that aims to highlight racism and discrimination and racial inequality, promoting anti-racism by 3 Black women, Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tometi. Although I understand Black Lives Matter eventually veered off into a space that I'm not here to talk about, but this is the root. Black Lives Matter. There's something about the melanin experience that can't be copied. Or it can be copied, but there's nothing like the original. So we are a beautiful people that come from a beautiful community. However, to move forward, we have to figure out this bridge of connection that can preserve and take care of our own and also to be there for others. So as I'm stepping outside the box of just drawing an illustration, think of vegetables. Think of tomatoes, corn. Think of cabbage. Think of okra. Think of all the vegetables that you can think of. But they are grounded. They're rooted in their respective spaces. Okay? So I'm speaking into respected spaces that no matter what that vegetable is, it has its respected space of growth. All lives matter. So in that respected space of growth comes a maturity. And as the vegetables mature, there is a cutoff date, meaning that it's time to eat. So as we gather those vegetables of maturity, we put it in a pot and we call it vegetable soup, right? Great vegetable soup to have that we all can eat at this table of productivity and bridging this gap of understanding to, again, build the promise of tomorrow of equality. So within that soup are all lives matter. Black lives matter. White lives matter. Blue lives matter. Queer lives matter. All American lives matter. The list continues to go on and on and on in their respected spaces. But I challenge you with this. Within those respected spaces that we must have to bridge this gap, in those respected spaces are the lives that matter. Well, all lives mean nothing. All lives matter means nothing if it doesn't matter to you. God bless you and have a good night.